Good morning, good night, Eagle MMA family. This is the problem with Jon Jones versus Tom Aspinall.
He's gonna knock him out! He's gonna knock Charles out!
Alright, so if you guys don't know, this Saturday, November 16th, was UFC 309. Jon Jones versus Stipe Miocic, the greatest fighter of all time versus the greatest heavyweight of all time, with the co-main event being Charles Oliveira versus Michael Chandler 2. But if you guys don't know, I have a Tapology. We have, I think, 75 members. Once we get to 100 members, I will be gifting 5 free Eagle MMA memberships. You guys get so much content. So make sure you join my Tapology, and also the top 5 winners of every single UFC card are displayed right here at the start of every single Eagre news. So join the Tapology, link in description. But let's get on with the UFC card, UFC 309, starting with the early prelims, ending with the main event, recapping every single fight in the card, starting with the early prelim opener of Eduardo Moura versus Veronica Hardy. Again, I wasn't watching it except out of the corner of my eye because Eduardo Moura has got a gift from God. Eduardo Moura has a gift from God. She has such a beautiful smile. Veronica Hardy, she's a lovely woman. She could probably be a great mother, but Eduardo Moura gets the decision. It was clear, I guess. But let's get on to the next fight on the card. And this was actually a pretty good fight. And a rising contender and bound for stardom, Oban Elliott knocking out Basel Hafez at 40 seconds of the third round. The first 2 rounds, let's be honest, were not really that entertaining. It was kind of just like a technical chess. Oh, such a technical chess match. But in the third round, Oban Elliott lands that right hand, just barely like hits the front of Basel Hafez's face. He goes down to the ground. He's basically out. 2 ground and pound shots, and he's out unconscious. And the GOAT, Marc Goddard, right? This is crazy. Marc Goddard actually having a great stoppage, letting Basel Hafez be a warrior and eat 5 extra unneeded ground and pound shots. Fantastic refereeing from Marc Goddard. I really love to see this recently. He's always pulling early stoppages, but finally he had a decent one. And Oban Elliott, future title contender. Let's be honest. He looks so clean. He looks so slick. He looks fast. He's young. He's quick. He's athletic. He's the future. Right, but next up on the card, right? You know, I mean, come on, dude. I picked Mickey Gall by 3rd round submission. Mickey Gall gets knocked out in the 1st round by Ramiz Brahimaj. This was the riskiest pick of the entire card for me, other than the co-main event, which I'll get into. I was so unconfident in Gall, and yeah, he just got sparked out cold with like a right hook on the break from the clinch. Just folded him, and Ramiz Brahimaj just dove in and landed like 4 or 5 extra ground and pound shots. It was absolutely delicious. But hey, it was still a pretty fun fight for the 3 minutes it lasted, and a pretty good KO. The prelims were actually really good. And we'll get on to the next prelim. Marcin Tybura beats Jonte Denise by doctor stoppage in the 2nd round. I thought this was a pretty disgusting doctor stoppage. The first round, Jonte Denise was beating Marcin Tybura on the feet for like 10 seconds, got taken down, held down the entire round. 2nd round, basically the exact same thing. Whenever it was on the feet, Jonte Denise was, you know, winning, but as soon as Tybura got at the ground, he just started laying on top of him, and in like the last 30 seconds, Marcin Tybura landed 1 elbow in the full mount, and just started raining hellfire on top of Jonte Denise. He was just unloading on Jonte Denise's face, right? Let's be honest. I mean, come on, dude. A big nasty cut opened up on Jonte Denise's forehead, and he had to be picked up by his corner at the end of the round. And then the doctor stepped in and was like, no, sorry, you can't. Oh, I won't let you be a warrior because I'm a doctor. I have a fake job. Oh, I'm a doctor with a fake job, and I think you're too hurt to keep fighting. Jonte Denise is a warrior. He's a savage. He's a fucking assassin. He wanted to get back in there. Let him go back in there. It wasn't because of the cut. It was because he was concussed. Like, are you fucking serious? Hey. Oh, you know what? Hey, good job getting paid hundreds of thousands of dollars a year for your fake job, you idiot doctor. Your job isn't real. But under the next fight on the card, David Onama gets a decision over Roberto Romero. When I made my prediction, I picked Onama 1st round KO, and I literally acknowledged this is such an NPC pick. I knew when I picked Onama by 1st round KO, I said it was an NPC take because I know fuck all about Roberto Romero, and I know that David Onama is really not that good. He literally went life and death with Nate Landwehr, and Nate Landwehr, I love Nate Landwehr. Nate the Train of the UFC, okay? But life and death with Nate Landwehr? Okay, let's be honest with Onama here. And Roberto Romero made it like a competitive fight. Who was landing shots the entire fight. I wasn't really paying that much attention to it because I really don't give a fuck about David Onama. So I was kind of watching it a little bit in the background, but it was still a pretty decent fight. But we're going to the next fight on the card. Another fucking just a stupid fight. I don't know why. Like, dude, I have just a problem. I have a fucking problem when I pick some of these fights. Jim Miller submits Damon Jackson at 2 minutes 45 seconds of the first round with a guillotine. Thanks, Damon Jackson. Thank you. Yeah, let's also give a round of applause for Damon Jackson getting immediately submitted and panic tapping to a guillotine. Yep. Good job, Damon Jackson. I mean, the whole fight before, Damon Jackson was basically just landing the front kick. Nothing else really landed in the entire fight from either fighter. He goes in for a panic, like a legit panic single leg. He almost knocked himself out, hitting his face on the hip of Jim Miller. Those who know. It was such a pathetic, like, panic takedown and just literally let Jim Miller get the fucking guillotine on him and put himself even further into the guillotine. And the second, oh my god, like, I'm not even joking about this. Rewatch the submission. The second that guillotine hits the ground and Jim Miller's back hits the ground, Damon Jackson's hand is immediately ready to tap. His hand immediately goes out as soon as he hits the fucking ground. It was pathetic from Damon Jackson, but hey, I guess, whoa, good, A10 Jim Miller, yay! But we're gonna oh my god, and this one too, just fucking... the prelim headliner, Marcus McGee beats Jonathan Martinez by 3-round decision. Like, I can't even, I'm gonna try to go through this fight as fast as possible because I was actually freaking the fuck out on my stream because I love Jonathan Martinez. I wanted him to be something special. He has 2 leg kick TKOs in the UFC. I think 3, he has 3 leg kick TKOs. He had 2 in a row by, against Adrian Yanez and Cub Swanson, and I think he had 1 more before that. And I love leg kick TKOs. He looked pretty good, lost to Jose Aldo, and just became a bitch! Jonathan Martinez became a bitch like that because he barely lost the decision to Jose Aldo. This was absolutely pathetic from Jonathan Martinez. He literally threw 1 front kick. He threw 1 front kick the entire fight. He stopped throwing his leg kicks. He was only throwing naked leg kicks. And I know that's the... Listen, I'm not stupid. I know Jonathan Martinez's leg kicks are, like, very naked most times. He rarely ever sets them up. He just has really good timing with them. But he just didn't set them up at all. Like, oh my god, like, get a grip. Like, did you realize that what you're doing is not working? He literally just kept trying to throw this 1-1-2. That's all he did. That's all he did the whole fucking fight. He landed 2 significant strikes in the first round. 2 fucking significant strikes in the first round, and they were both leg kicks. I don't think he literally landed a single punch in the first round. I was actually losing my shit. And then in the third round, oh my god, like this fight had to be rigged. He had to be fucking paid up. In the third round, he fucked up both of Marcus McGee's legs. He landed one that fucking wobbled Marcus McGee, and he literally couldn't put weight on that foot. And then he's just walking him down, not throwing any punches. Just keeps on trying to throw that same fucking leg kick. Oh my god, if you threw a head kick, you would have knocked him out. Oh my god, like if you threw a head kick, you would have knocked him out. I'm gonna freak out if I talk about this fight anymore. I'm done with it. Fuck you, Jonathan Martinez. I'm never picking him to fight. I'm never picking him to win another fucking fight in the UFC. You disgust me, Jonathan Martinez. But let's go to the main card pay-per-view opener of Mauricio, the Fighting Nerd, Rufy versus James Lontop. Listen, Mauricio Rufy's a future champ, guys. I mean, let's be honest. He looks so slick in this fight. James Lontop is, a gritty vet. He's too tough for his own good. I mean, I predicted this fight perfectly. I literally predicted this fight perfectly, except the third. Okay. Because I was joking at the first part. Let's be honest. The third round was so pathetic from Mauricio Rufy, dude. Mauricio Rufy literally getting leg kicked and outworked in the clinch. Like actually outworked in the clinch. He's not going to win his next fight if he fights anybody decent that knows how to use the clinch or leg kicks. Because James Lontop is a brawler bomb. Like, James Lontop is so bad. All he has is a good chin, and he's a brawler. And I predicted it perfectly. I said Mauricio Rufy's probably going to 10-8 James Lontop in the first or second round. And, he's just going to beat the shit out of him. James Lontop's going to be too tough for his own good. And we saw that. He knocked Lontop down in the second round, which is a 10-8. Knocked him down. Literally was about to knock him out. And he tried to fucking showboat. He tried to land some stupid fucking... He tried to land like a scissor kick or something. And fell over. It was a Rolling Thunder or something fucking stupid. Rufy needs to chill out. Stick to his... Hey, Rufy, how about you stick to your 1-1-2s, right? Jonathan Martinez needs to fucking swap places with Rufy. Martinez needs to learn some... Just... fucking crazy shit. He has all the basics, just needs some crazy shit. Mauricio Ruppi needs literally just any skill and not just pure luck, dude. Not just pure luck when fighting. But James Lontop also, like, won the 3rd round, right? He was actually starting to, like, if that fight was 5 rounds, James Lontop literally would have won. But Mauricio Ruffi's the next McGregor. I'm really high on him. I think he could be a future champ. Let's go to the next fight on the card. Karine Silva loses a decision to Viviane Araujo. I wasn't really watching this fight either. It's a women's fight, but Karine Silva has beautiful caramel skin, and Viviane Araujo has a beautiful smile. I really like her smile, and she has eyes that you could just stare into. But on the feature fight on the card, this one was a very contentious topic. Bo Nickal beats Paul Craig by decision. Now, I picked Bo Nickal by 1st round KO, and I understood that that was not like a set-in-stone prediction, right? But Bo Nickal looked good, man. Bo Nickal looked fucking good. I'm not even like a Bo Nickal fucking fanboy. I don't really like him that much, but I'm just honest about him. Like, I see tons of people going like, oh, Paul Craig robbery? Like, Paul Craig won the fight, or Bo Nickal got fraud checked, hype train derailed. Like, what are you talking about? He looks sick. He literally didn't get hit by like a single punch by Paul Craig. The only thing Paul Craig was landing was that rear side body kick. And also, he's a 205 pounder, right? And Bo Nickal's not the biggest 185er. Like, he's a small 85er, and Paul Craig is a 205er. You know, he's not gonna. It's like, holy shit, this is his 7th MMA fight. Like, this is his 7th professional MMA fight. Like, can we give the fucking kid a break, dude? What, he's not. Oh my god, he didn't spark Paul Craig out cold faster than Kyle. Hey, Caio Borralho took Paul Craig to the middle of the 2nd round, and he's a title contender. Bo Nickal dominantly beats Paul Craig, and he's just another bomb. Are you serious, dude? Like, listen, I don't think Bo Nickal is a future champ. Like, I'm honest about him. But he could easily be a top 10 contender, right? You think about a matchup with him and Shara Magomedov, he could easily just take Shara down and just slightly outwork him on the feet, maybe outwork him in the clinch. He could beat Michel Pereira, right? We saw Michel Pereira's cardio. Bo Nickal showed pretty good cardio as well. The one thing that I do say about Bo Nickal is he rocked Paul Craig in the 3rd round or the 2nd round. Either way, it doesn't really matter. But he rocked him, like, really bad, and he was about to finish him. And he stood in front of Paul Craig for, like, 20 seconds straight. And that's a learning experience, right? It's his 7th professional MMA fight. He's been training MMA for 3 fucking years, okay? I think he can have one fight against, like, an actual decent fighter in Paul Craig where he doesn't just completely run through them. He still dominated Paul Craig. Get that through your thick fucking skulls, you haters. But we go into the co-main event. Charles Oliveira is so fucking... Oh, my God. His grappling is so pretty, dude. I get when I watch Charles Oliveira grapple. Oliveira versus Chandler 2. I love this fight so much. This was a fight of the year. This fight was a fight of the year, guys. Fight of the year. Not even in contention. It is the fight of the year. Charles Oliveira looked so good. I wish he had more than 15 minutes of control time. I wish Charles Oliveira had 17 minutes of control time instead of just 15. And Michael Chandler, man, what a tough vet, man. You know, exciting, always exciting. He's so strong. End of the 5th round, you know, had Oliveira on his back with 30 seconds left. And, you know, instead of actually trying to win, he just chose to jump on his back twice because, hey, he'd rather be entertaining than win, right? Hey, wait, you gotta respect that. You gotta respect that gritty fucking vet mentality, right? Rather be entertaining than fucking win a single fight in your UFC career. The only people you beat are Dan Hooker and Tony Ferguson, you retard. Guess who's never getting the Conor McGregor matchup? You! Because you looked pathetic in this fight, Michael Chandler. And Charles Oliveira, man, he's so fucking good, dude. I'm so glad my king, Oliveira, my precious king, Oliveira, he didn't lose in the octagon. My precious king. The things I would let Oliveira do to me because of how pretty and sensual his grappling is. I wish I could live with Charles Oliveira and just watch him grapple every single day because it's just like, you know, it's like watching a work of art, watching Charles Oliveira grapple on the ground. And hey man, just how good is Arman Tsarukyan? Just how good is Arman Tsarukyan? He's gonna run through that little Galaxy Gas addict, those who know, with ease, right? Arman Tsarukyan dominated Charles Oliveira for 3 rounds straight. Charles Oliveira had nothing. He literally did nothing. He didn't land a single punch, didn't have a single good moment on the ground against Arman Tsarukyan. Arman's gonna run through Islam, and hey, you know what? I think Charles Oliveira beats Islam again, man. I think he beats Islam. I think that first fight was a fluke, and I think Oliveira, you know, controls Islam for 5 rounds straight, man. Another gritty vat performance from Charles Oliveira, man. But we go to the hey, let's say switch up on the mood here. We get to the main event. Jon Jones, the greatest. Okay. Jon Jones versus Stipe Miocic. Jon Jones is not just the greatest light heavyweight of all time. He is not just the greatest fighter of all time, but now Jon Jones is also the greatest heavyweight of all time. He dominated Stipe with ease. Stipe looked better than ever. Stipe actually looked better than ever, man. You know, I think that time off really did help him. Just help him recover his brain a little bit. You know, that Ngannou loss was pretty brutal. So I think it was a good thing that Stipe let his brain recover and he kind of, you know, separated himself from the sport. So good win for Jon Jones. He's now the greatest heavyweight of all time. Just another accolade for Jon Jones. And he didn't retire. Stipe retired, which good job, Stipe. He's gonna be living the high life after that Jon Jones payout. And Jon Jones did not retire. He said he's leaving it open to discussion. He said he's gonna talk to Dana and he said he's either gonna fight Alex Pereira or Tom Aspinall. And he said whoever makes me more money. Whoever makes me more money, he's going to fight. So, Tom Aspinall is not getting the title shot. It's going to be Jon Jones versus Alex Pereira. And that is the fight that should happen. Alex Pereira is the greatest light heavyweight of all time. Alex Pereira is the greatest light heavyweight of all time and arguably a top 5 GOAT of the sport. I want to see him battle Jon Jones. And if Alex Pereira beats Jon Jones at heavyweight, middleweight champion, light heavyweight champion, and heavyweight champion, he's the greatest light heavyweight of all time. He's the greatest heavyweight of all time. And Alex Pereira would be the greatest fighter of all time. That is the fight to make. Tom Aspinall, listen, man, I know Tom Aspinall beat Curtis Blades and Sergey Pavlovich and Alexander Volkov, which are some fucking, you know, that's GOAT potential right there. Beating Marcin Tybura, man, I mean, that's GOAT potential. But Tom Aspinall just sells no pay-per-views. Tom Aspinall just sells no pay-per-views. He's just so fucking boring. He's just so boring, dude. He's so boring. He can't trash talk at all because if you don't got nothing nice to say, don't say nothing at all. Which, hey, you know what? I agree with. You know, Aspinall's got a fantastic father behind him. But that's it for the UFC 309 recap. But also, guys, November 15th, this last Friday, was Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson. I know, isn't it crazy, guys? In 2 days, we saw the 2 greatest heavyweights of all time fight. Jake Paul and Jon Jones. It was a little bit crazy. This week was stacked with some good fights, man. But Jake Paul, elite. I'd say Jake Paul beats Canelo. I think he beats Floyd Mayweather. I think those are 2 easy ones. Listen, I'm a realist. I don't think he beats, you know, Tyson Fury, but I think Jake Paul absolutely beats Canelo Alvarez. Canelo's old. He's only getting worse. He lost to Floyd Mayweather, and Jake Paul would beat Floyd Mayweather, okay? Also, guys, this obviously streamed on Netflix, and it was crashing the server. The Netflix server crashed about like 20 times throughout like the whole card, mainly throughout Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson, because it was the largest sporting event in the history. It was the largest combat sports event in history. 120 million live viewers. That is absolutely insane. Crazy numbers for Jake Paul, and I love Jake Paul. He looked absolutely elite. Did not look bad at all. He pitied Mike Tyson and ended up braining him and putting him into a medically induced coma because that's what he would have done. Because also Mike Tyson said 2 weeks before the fight he nearly died and he lost 25 pounds in the hospital. 2 weeks before the fight, he literally would have killed Mike Tyson. If he knocked him out. So hey, you know, good for Jake Paul. He's pitying this old kind of bum journeyman Mike Tyson. And like I was watching like the Weasel talk about it too. He goes, "It kept crashing. Wow, Netflix, get your servers together." There was 120 million people watching the Weasel. You fucking little nerd. How about you get that through your thick skull? 120 million people. Do you even realize that's half of America? That's over half of America. We're watching one event on one server. You piece of shit. But let's also get to some fight announcement, guys, because there has been some crazy fight announcements. And let's start the top down, right? We'll start with the most anticipated fight, I think, right? Retard Idiot versus T-Rex Arms. Guys, this fight is crazy. UFC 312 in Sydney, Australia. Jimmy Crute versus Marcin Prachnio. I'm hyped. But hey, let's get into the real fight you guys all care about. Nurullo Aliev versus Yanal Ashmouz and UFC Vegas 101. This is amazing. I'm joking again. Obviously, Yanal Ashmouz is my favorite fighter of all time. I gotta mess around a little bit. Let's get into the actual real fight you guys care about. Shavkat Rakhmonov versus Ian Gary is the new co-main event to UFC 310. It will be a 5-round fight. This is fantastic matchmaking. I love this fight. Honestly, I have no fucking clue who I'm gonna pick. You know who I'm gonna pick? Alexandre Pantoja, who's the new main eventer. Hey, Alexandre Pantoja are up absolutely massive. Pantoja is actually my favorite fighter of all time. He's a fucking Chad. He brained Steve Arasag. And he's an absolute Sigma male, right? If you haven't watched Alexandre Pantoja versus Davison Figueiredo, holy shit, you're a casual, you know nothing about flyweight, the actual best division in the UFC right now. But Shavkat versus Gary, man, that is the #1 contenders fight, which is weird because there was another fight that got announced, which is arguably better, in my opinion. This is the one I care about the most. The new main event, 5-round fight in Tampa, UFC Tampa, Colby Covington versus Joaquin Numanza. Buckley, my hood-ass jits. Joaquin Buckley finally getting his dues, finally getting a 5-round main event in a massive fight night. UFC Tampa cards are always massive. The last one was, I think, Jorge Masvidal. It was Colby Covington again, and Jorge Masvidal versus Gilbert Burns was a massive pay-per-view. This one is a fight night, obviously, but it's still fucking amazing. And guys, I'm honestly picking Joaquin Buckley here, right? I'm picking Joaquin Buckley. He's so athletic, he's so big, fucking and strong and fast. And he actually does have pretty decent takedown defense, and especially like athletic takedown defense, which is even better against someone like Colby Covington, who shoots like, you know, these kind of like basic cardio takedowns, right? Colby Covington's not explosive at all. He's a cardio fighter. He's a point fighter, and I love Colby Covington, but that's just the truth, right? That's not necessarily a bad thing. But I think Buckley's style specifically, and also being dynamic as well. Like, I can see Buckley literally, like, KOing Colby Covington with, like, a spinning fucking heel kick. Like, for real. Like, I see Joaquin Buckley hitting him with, like, a flying fucking knee off of, like, a labor takedown or something. Or maybe, like, a spinning back kick to the body. I see Buckley finishing Colby Covington, man. I'm so high on Buckley. I've been high on him ever since he came down to welterweight in his head kick KO over Andre Fiallo. I've been saying Joaquin Buckley is, like, at the very least, a top 10 contender at welterweight ever since Andre Fiallo, and he's finally brained that Wonder Bread fucking idiot, Stephen Thompson, the nice guy, Wonder Boy Thompson, brained him with the leaping gazelle hook, and obviously, you know, beat the shit out of Nursultan Ruziboyev. He beat a couple other fighters that I can't name off the top. He brained Vicente Luque. He bullied Vicente Luque, and he's gonna bully Colby Covington. I see Joaquin Buckley by like a 2nd or 3rd round knockout, right? Pretty easy. Right, and a couple of other fights as well. Speaking of Vicente Luque, Nick Diaz has pulled out once again versus Vicente Luque. This is the 2nd time he's pulled out. Twice in, I think it was 2 years, right? I mean, Jesus Christ, Nick Diaz, get your fucking grip together, you junkie. So Vicente Luque is now fighting Themba Gorimbo in UFC 310. I'm going to go Themba Gorimbo by knockout. I'm going Themba Gorimbo by knockout, man. Themba Gorimbo, man, he's the answer, man. He's the fucking answer, and I think he actually does have a good style to beat Vicente Luque. Because he's not some, like, crazy power puncher. Themba Gorimbo actually does fight kind of smart. I think he's going to, like, accidentally knock out Vicente Luque. After that brain hemorrhage from the 8 uppercuts in a row from Jeff Neal, dude, that's such a funny fucking knockout. Jeff Neal landing 8 rear uppercuts in a row and then fucking braining Luque. He has a brain hemorrhage. He's just been off since then, dude. So I got Gorimbo probably by finish as well. Maybe by decision and just, like, dominating him, but who knows. But another fight as well, Edson Barboza for Steve Garcia, announced for February 22nd. I think that's a good one. I'm not going to run through that much because it's really, you know, I don't really care that much about that one. It'll be a good fight, but it doesn't really mean anything. And something that just got announced yesterday, Bryce Mitchell versus Crone Gracie in UFC 310. Another fight for UFC 310. That card is so stacked with a Alexandre Pantoja main event. That's going to be like the greatest card of all time, for real. Bryce Mitchell versus Crone Gracie, dude, that's fucking crazy. And Shavkat versus fucking Gary. Do I need to run through Landwehr versus Yoo-Hoo Choi? I mean, come on, dude. But Bryce Mitchell versus Crone Gracie, I see Bryce Mitchell getting a decision. I see Bryce Mitchell probably getting a decision. Or a late round submission. I don't really see it, though. I do see Bryce Mitchell getting a decision, right? He's just not really that dangerous. I mean, who is Bryce Mitchell? Who's the last guy Bryce Mitchell finished? You know, I love Bryce Mitchell. He's thug nasty. You know, probably one of the only natural fighters in the UFC. I think Bryce Mitchell might literally be like one of the only actual like natural, non-performance enhancing drug fighters. And you know that farmer boy diet don't lie. But that's going to have to wrap it up for Eagre news, guys. It was a bit of a longer Eagre news, but that's because massive card, Jake Paul versus Tyson, and massive fight announcements. UFC is looking so good lately, and I've been loving MMA YouTube recently, right? We got Lost Soul MMA, we got Bismarck MMA. If you guys don't know who they are, they go live all the time, pretty much every day. Those are my two favorite streamers right now. So, like, if you know, those are your favorite content creators. Obviously, you know, Rigo's been putting out good stuff. You know, a couple other people like Mogwunk, Zerg. Better MMA have been putting out some pretty good stuff lately, but I've been on a roll. You know, I've been on a roll. Me and Lost Soul are next up. I think that's the message I'm saying is it's me and Lost Soul against the world right now. But like I said, thank you guys for watching. Tapology, like, comment, subscribe, turn on notifications to all. Don't be a weirdo and put them on personalized. That's weird. That's weird. Honestly, that's weird. Buy my memberships, $5 a month. Like I said, I put fucking content for out. I'll post members videos when I want to. Yeah, I'll post members videos and go live for my members when I want to. Yeah. Thank you all for watching. EagleMMA out.
Hey, Young Lean?
You all got a meditation.
Are you Young Lean?
What?
Are you Young Lean?
No, I'm Barry Dillon.